Namaste, Pranam, Gita Dhyanam. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitam Ritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatva Manusandadhami Bhagavad Gite Bhavadveshinim. Bhagavad Gita, with which Lord Narayana himself gave enlightenment to Arjuna, the ancient sage Vyasa included it in the Mahabharata. O goddess, showerer of the nectar-like knowledge of non-dualism contained in your 18 chapters, O my affectionate mother, the destroyer of rebirth, I meditate upon thee. Krishnavandana. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansa Chanura Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Son of Vasudeva, the slayer of Kansa and Chanur, extreme delight for Mother Devaki, O Lord Krishna, the supreme teacher of the universe, my salutations to you. So today we are continuing our reading from the jñāna-sañchhinna-sanśhayam, the 4th adhyaya of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, and we will be reading 41st Shloka today. In our previous reading of 40th Shloka, Sri Krishna has clearly told us, he has clearly told Arjuna and to all the future devotees who are going to study the Gita, who are going to read the Gita, he has clearly told that the ignorant ones, Ajna and Ashraddhan, the one who is devoid of Shraddha, who is devoid of that imminent faith, devotion, ignorant, person who is devoid of Shraddha, and Sanshayatma, the doubting Tom, who is not going to trust anybody, who is not going to trust anyone's words, how to walk on the spiritual path, always doubting. Now Sri Krishna says, these 3 qualities, they will result in total destruction, vinashyati. Ajna, Shraddhan and Samshayatma vinashyati. A person with these 3 is going to get destroyed. That will be the end of the person. And for such persons, for such people, there is neither this world to enjoy nor hereafter. Na ayam lokaha asti na paraha. And eventually, na sukham sanshayatmanaha. And such kind of sanshayatmans, the one with the doubting minds, one who don't have trust in anything, always doubting, that fellow is going to create some harm to me. Why is it so good to me? Why is that person so good to me? There must be some hidden agenda behind it. There must be some hidden motive of that person being so nice to me. It cannot happen. These kind of doubting toms, samshayatmanaha. For him, Sri Krishna says, neither this world nor hereafter. And naturally, where is the happiness then? There is no happiness, there is no bliss, there is no peace of mind for these kind of people. Now, today in the reading of our 41st Shloka, Sri Krishna is giving some kind of help, is providing help. How one should not get into the mode of samshayatman. How one can get rid of this tendency of doubting. Now, yoga-sannyasta-karmāṇaṁ jñāna-sañchhinna-sanśhayam. This is very critical. Jñāna-sañchhinna-sanśhayam ātmavantaṁ na karmāṇi nibadhnanti Dhananjaya. Now Sri Krishna says that yoga-sannyasta-karmāṇaṁ. Yoga-sannyasta-karmāṇaṁ is one who has renounced all the action by that yoga, by becoming selfless, by not hankering after the fruits of action that one is performing. This way, when one gets into the mode of yoga, when one gets into the mode of doing work selflessly, yoga-sannyasta-karmāṇaṁ, and that is one way. Jñāna-sañchhinna-sanśhayam. Sanshayam is doubt. Yes, time and again he has said how dreadful that quality, that attribute, that attitude of a person with doubt is. It is extremely hazardous. And Sri Krishna says, jñāna-sañchhinna-sanśhaya, with the sword of knowledge, just cut asunder ruthlessly that element of doubt. Cut into two pieces. Don't leave any trace of that doubt, any trace of that sanshaya be in the mind. Get the sword of knowledge, gain the knowledge, and cut asunder all that doubting quality, all that doubting attitude. And then, having got into that particular situation, having got rid of sanshaya, having started doing the activities, doing the duties in we merged in the yoga, the selfless work, getting engaged into the work like this is the Lord's work. I am just an instrument. I am not doing it. I am just an instrument in the hands of the Lord. And whether that action, whether the work that I am doing is going to bring good or bad, why should I worry about it? Why should I be bothered about the outcome of this action, outcome of this duty? It is not my work. I have got no right over the outcome of the work. That whatever is the outcome, it also belongs to the Lord. So, with that kind of mental makeup, with that kind of yoga, doing all the work, and then cutting asunder the element of doubt from the mind using the sword of knowledge, what happens? ātmavantaṁ na karmāṇi, and the one possessing the self is not doing any work. No karmāṇi nibadhnanti. No action of this karma is going to bound a person who works with this attitude. No action is going to bind him. Nibadhnati. No karmāṇi nibadhnati. He is not going to get attached to any of that karma that he is doing, any of the action that he is doing. That person, he remains totally unattached, like the drop of water on the leaf of the lotus leaf. It just remains there. That's it. It doesn't spoil. It doesn't wet the lotus leaf, that drop of water. Totally unattached. Dhananjaya. Oh Dhananjaya. Oh Arjuna. Oh conqueror of the wealth. That is another name of Arjuna. And Sri Krishna is referring here again Arjuna with that specific name of Dhananjaya, because at the end of the war, Arjuna has to fight. Sri Krishna knows that his Swadharma will make him to fight, although he is deluded right now, hearing to the words of Sri Krishna, hearing the great teaching of his friend, philosopher and guide. Arjuna is going to wage the war against those evil cousins. And then automatically, once Arjuna fights a war, he is going to be the winner. He is going to be the ultimate, enjoyer of all these riches under the entire kingdom, the throne and the kingdom. And therefore, Sri Krishna refers to him as Dhananjaya, that you are going to be the conqueror of the wealth. O Dhananjaya. So, with work absorbed in yoga-sannyasta-karmāṇaṁ, and doubts asunder by sword of knowledge, by knowledge, jñāna-sañchhinna-sanśhayam, ātmavantaṁ karmāṇi nibadhnanti. O Dhananjaya, the actions do not bind him who is poised in the self, ātmavantaṁ, who is merged in his self. You remember Sri Krishna has told us earlier of the merging the self in the self. So one who becomes ātmavantaṁ, who becomes yoga-sannyasta-karmāṇaṁ, who does the work with that understanding, getting into that attitude of yoga, getting absorbed in yoga, that I'm not the doer. The fruit doesn't belong to me. I'm not the owner of this karma. It is the Lord's work. And jñāna-sañchhinna-sanśhayam, the doubt asunder by the knowledge. One poised in self, one who has merged his lower self in his self. That person, na karmāṇi nibadhnanti, he is never bound. He is never entangled in whatever action he does. That is Sri Krishna's teaching in this 41st shloka, and this way, this is the way of getting poised in yoga and doing the works and getting asunder the doubt with the sword of knowledge. With that, you can get rid of that tendency of being a sanshayatma. With that, one can get rid of being ajna, being ignorant, and with that, one can also get rid of that attitude of being a shraddhan, devoid of shraddha, devoid of faith, devotion. So, while in the 40th shloka, Sri Krishna has told us how a person with those negative qualities bring destruction to oneself. Here in the 41st shloka, Sri Krishna also tells us how those negative attributes, attitudes can be got rid of by becoming poised in the yoga, by cutting asunder the doubts from the mind with knowledge, and then remaining unbound by whatever activities we are doing, remaining na karmāṇi nibadhnanti, being ātmavantaṁ, being merged in the self. The mud fish remains untarnished by mud, though wallowing in it all the while. You see the mud fish? Mud fish remains at the bottom of the lake or pond, and every time it is just merged, wallowing in that mud. But the moment it comes up, not a single, the small trace of mud sticks to its body. It is absolutely clean. That is mud fish. That is how a yogi becomes who is ātmavantaṁ. He is once having merged the self in the self, all the attributes get lost. And then the quality of remaining detached, no attachment whatsoever. The mudfish doesn't, though no mud attaches to the body of the mudfish. A yogi is he who is not tempted by karma, though ever occupied with it. When we look at a yogi, we may find he is so much absorbed in the work, all the time doing this, doing that, helping somebody. That kind of continuously he is into the mode of action. But he is not doing anything. He is not doing anything. Nature is infallible. There is a divine plan and purpose in its functioning. Everything that happens around us, it is all predestined. It trains and disciplines the Jivatman stage by stage to perfection. It takes time. But each and every Jivatman has ultimately to reach that stage of perfection. Some may, for some it may happen early, for some it may happen late. And late how much? Maybe millions of births, but it will happen. And then he who understands this, that I am going to attain the liberation one day or another. For him, he has got rid of all the attachment. If a person starts believing, if a person has a Shraddha in this command of the Lord that I am going to take along all the beings with me, some time or the other. Once one has a Shraddha, then a person does not fall prey to doubt. And once a person does not fall prey to the doubt, the person automatically applies himself or herself with full earnestness, with full dedication, with full devotion, with full Shraddha to self-fulfillment in tune with the cosmic plan. His turn also is going to come. It is saying that in a jocular way, they say, Har kutte ke din hote hai. Yes, every being will have its turn to get liberated. It is a matter of time. Have faith, have Shraddha, and keep on doing all the works. Don't get attached. Don't get attached to what you are doing. Don't get attached to the fruits of the karma, because you are not doing anything. This wholesome attitude and right application develop into enlightenment, and doing work in this fashion. Doing work being an instrument of the Lord, doing work being a child of the mother, being work as a devotee towards the Lord. No entanglement, no attachment, and we have no you know that complexity. We don't have that complex of I am the doer. That attitude will never take birth in the mind of the real karma yogi. It is all Lord's work. Enlightened man, a man ever established in the self, neither shuns work nor gets entangled in it. Now, such a person with the knowledge, such a person with the realization, such a person who has understood the trick of the trade, he never runs away from doing any work like Arjuna is running away with the pretext of me and mine, my cousins, my beloved gurus, my beloved relatives, my svajana and all that. And then thinking about how there will be downfall of the social norms and moral values and all that. Taking that as an excuse, Arjuna is escaping from performing his swadharma. But the person who is enlightened, the person who has immersed in this knowledge, he will never ever run away from the work. That person will never shun any work or escape doing any work. What? Because for him, whatever work comes to him is the Lord's work. It is the God-gifted opportunity for him or her to do something for the good of all the beings. And that kind of person will never get entangled in the karma as such. That is not going to add to any sanchita karma, but arabdha, yes, he has to do. That is that karma, that is not going to add anything to the future or to the effects of the karma that he has to do in future. He totally is absolved from those two types of karma. Only prarabdha he has to suffer, he has to maybe enjoy, whatever it is. So that is what enlightenment brings to a person by way of removing the delusion, by way of removing the doubting nature. Sanshaya element, it just goes off. So that was the beautiful 41st shloka, and Sri Krishna is giving us a lot of jnana, lot of knowledge in this jnana karma sannyasa yoga. So that is our reading for the day. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. Jai Sri Ramakrishna. Jai Thakur. Jai Baba. Jai Swami.